Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Monday night Zoom edition, and Bitcoin was pretty mellow over the weekend. Made a run towards 22K, didn't quite make it. Dropped down to below 21 today, kind of going sideways at the moment. Let's go to the chart. Okay, you should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart. You guys seeing that okay?
Yep, see it good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I still got the same line here that I drew from last week. It's either Monday or Friday at 20,200. We did dip below it earlier last week, but it did bounce back. On the weekly, we had a positive close. See right here? We had these 9 red candles on weekly closes, 1 green one, 2 more reds, and a green one, but we have a red one forming now. But there's still a lot of week left. And I found a little bit of good news. Let's see. Well, maybe it went away. Oh, here we go. Bitcoin gives encouraging signals as cyclical indicators show it's close to a bottom. And this writer talks about there are a few indicators I haven't really heard of. I think I've heard of the MV/RV ratio, but the other two I had not. So you guys might want to check this article out. It's connected to Bitcoin in TradingView. And yeah, it's a second one down. So I'm hoping this is a bottom. A lot of people think we're gonna drop down to maybe 17K again, then bounce back. So we'll see if that happens. If it was gonna happen, I thought it would happen this weekend, but we actually were mostly positive this weekend. So so far so good for Bitcoin. Ethereum, I adjusted the line to 1,050. And it's mostly hanging on, trending down a bit today, but it's been over 1,200 a couple times. Hanging right around that area at the moment. So kind of a mellow last couple of days in the markets. Not a whole lot going on with the blue chips. So any comments, concerns? Actually, I did want to look at one more thing. Oliver mentioned in the comments about USDT being threatened, and this has been, one of the things that people like to talk about after the UST, the Luna collapse in May. It has been threatened a couple times. Right around that time, the peg got down to 93, 94 cents. A couple other runs on it. Still stayed well above 99 cents and even pumped up a couple times to over $1. So USDT at the moment at least looks pretty good. If there is an epic meltdown where a lot of people are exchanging their cryptos for USDT, that could drag the value down some, but I can't imagine. Well, I guess I could imagine something worse than what happened in May with Luna, but so anyway, so far it's hanging on. We'll see if it still does. It's USDT is still the primary trading pair. I think if you're hodling a stable coin, USDC might be a better option. Not financial advice, but it's the Coinbase product, and it allegedly has a cash backing up all of its tokens, or at least most of them. Not sure exactly how that works, but USDT has admitted they have cash and other assets that back it up. So it's not as clean as USDC. Overall, I still feel pretty good about it. I still have quite a bit of Tether sitting in a few exchanges, waiting for the market to be more stable. I still believe in it, but who knows? A lot of people taking shots at it. So, all right, well, that's about all I have for the markets overall in USDT. Any questions or concerns? Okay, let's go in the chat again. Okay, John Lyons has posted a Yahoo article. Yeah, it's talking about the peg to tether. So I'm not sure if that'll come up if I click it. Okay, interesting. This is good news. Tether's launching tokens pegged to the British pound so that's interesting. I didn't know. I think I'd heard that Tether has tokens tied to the euro, yuan, and the peso. So John's saying some good news question mark. Obviously, I haven't read the article, so maybe the article's negative. But anyway, so check that out at your leisure. Let's go ahead and see if we can find some trades. So let's go to Altcoin Alert. And actually, it was nice to see. I've actually got, I better refresh this. When I was prepping for this, I actually have 3 very bullish above 80 AA scores on coins I trade with some frequency. Chili's, KDA, and Mana. Though Chili's has been a stinker this year. I've got 2 positions in this that I'm holding that are pretty far underwater, but and Cadena doesn't move that much, so I'm not a big fan. I do like Mana though. So let's check out Chili's and Mana. I've got those charts up. We'll start with Chili's. On the day chart, you can see it was way up here, towards the end of last year, above 60 cents. Now it's around 10 cents. It's gotten down to almost 8 cents a couple times, but maybe 8.5. It's back above 10 cents, so that's good news. On the hour, it's had a nice move the last few days. From the 18th. So the last, up 35 cents or percent. So that's a really nice move. On the 5-minute, do we have a trade at the moment? Not really. We've got a squeezy set of Bollinger Bands here. Not even 3% in between them. I don't see anything resembling a dip trade here. So turn off divergence for the moment. See some short-term support here around 10.3 cents. Here around 10 cents. So between 10 and 10.3 would be a good place, I think, to try to catch a dip. On the 5-minute chart. And if you want to, as you know, I prefer the indicator alerts on the 15-minute chart for my day trading. So I'm going to go ahead and put divergence back on. And divergence is just a disagreement between the price action and the indicator. So yeah, I'm trying to see if there's an example of it here. I've talked about it many times though. So if you really want to see it, I'll try to show it to you. But essentially what happens is when you have bullish divergence like we have here, we have the histogram and the value weighted MACD trending down, or trending up, I mean, and the price action trending down. So when that's confirmed with a green candle, that's when you want to think about making a trade. And there's some predictive value to this. I've found it to be around 60-65% reliable as far as getting a positive, or the move that it's indicating. So you have to be careful because these will repaint. This is the divergence indicator I like. Divergence for many indicators by Lonesome, and nearly 13,000 people downloaded it, so they like it as much as I do. So you can put an alert on this. We would do a bullish alert. Positive divergence detected. Once per bar close, that's important so you don't repaint. And that means the indicator will flicker on its notification if the value of the candle changes. So that's why you want the once per bar close. Plus it'll keep it on all day until you turn it off. So then I like to put the AA score in my alert name. So it's AA 87.4. Positive divergence, and you're good to go. So I already got one of these, so I'm not going to do another one. If divergence is still, over your head, I understand that. It took me a while to get a grasp of it. We still have our indicators here, the MFI, the money flow index, and the RSI, the relative strength index. Both are really good for picking out alert or for giving us ideas of dips and recoveries. You can see here on the MFI, when it drops down and then comes back up, that can be a good time to get in. So that happened right here. And then you go back above the 20 value. This 20 is considered the oversold area. So when something's oversold, it's generally due to come back. And you see it drops below 20 and then comes back. You get in right about here. You can ride that to the top of the Bollinger Band, pick up 2%. If you pile up a bunch of 1% and 2%, your balance can grow fairly quickly. If you trade leverage like I do, then I'm going to be probably at 10x on that type of trade, and that'd be a 20% move for me. And we've got a few of these on the MFI crossing up. This would be another example. Almost 2% here. These are better examples. Well, this one didn't quite make it down. This one did. So this one drops slightly below 20 and starts to come back up. Probably get in right about here. And you got a really nice move. To the top of the Bollinger Band would have been almost 6%. If you looked at some of these, use some of these areas here, these resistances, it's closer to 7%. And that's what I like to, when I'm determining where I get out, what I like to do is check the prior candle action for retraces. So we had 3 times where it came up to this level here, right about 10.5 cents, and then got swatted back down. So that's useful information for me. I'm going to use that 10.5 cents or maybe something slightly below that for my exit. And this is another example where we had an MFI alert go off, get in right about here. Top of the Bollinger Band's 3.5%. So that would have been a good day trade. You're out of that in about 4 hours. So good stuff there. So to set an alert like that, you can right click on the MFI, set an alert. You want to go crossing up the value of 20. A more aggressive move is to raise this amount, say 25, once per bar close. And then I usually put the the AA score in there. I think it was 87.2. And there's your alert. It'll stay on. Oh, once per bar close, that's important. So it'll stay on until you turn it off if you have the open-ended like I do. So, okay, any questions on chilies? And what I just showed you, if you prefer, you can do that on the RSI. We usually use the value of 30. So crossing up on the 30 value, which is the oversold area for the RSI, accomplishes the same thing. So I will usually look at which indicator has given good alerts in the past couple days and make that decision. And to me, it looks like the MFI has been better than the RSI. It's been a little bit more sensitive to the price movement. Okay, any questions on chilies? All right, let's see. We had another one. Yeah, Mana, very bullish, 83.9. I've got that chart up. Okay, on the day chart, get the big picture, plenty of room to come back. Mana was as high as, almost $6 back in December, below $1 now. Pretty good movement. Since the 18th, it's up, 41%, dropped a little bit since then. Still looking pretty good. Okay, we had a big move. Yeah, I don't like divergence on the 5-minute chart, so I'm gonna get rid of it. I think 15 is the minimum you want to use divergence, in my opinion. And we had a nice move above $1. Swatted back down this morning, but then came back up, challenging $1 again, then it dropped again. Okay, 15-minute. Well, actually, let's see where. Got some good short-term support right here around 93 cents, 94. So I think that's where I didn't want to deal with indicator alerts. That's where I'd put my alert for catching a dip. On the 15-minute for our indicator alerts. Let's put divergence back on. Got some nice moves off divergence here. This one, not so much. Well, not at all, actually. This one you would have whiffed on this one, but these all were really good alerts on the 15-minute chart. What you can do if this one goes against you, let's say you're up, you're up at 8:30 yesterday morning Pacific time, and you're trading, and you like what you see here, like, oh no, well, another alert goes off of bullish divergence, and maybe you make another purchase there. So, a ladder buy is what I like to call it. So you make that first purchase on this divergence, your second purchase on this one, and then, you get up here almost a day later, and your first position breaks even, and your second position, you're up 6%. So a 3% combined trade, but double the money in it. So that's a good day trade, a good ladder buy. If you prefer stop losses, that's fine. I prefer using stop losses when I'm in profit to protect profit, but everyone else preaches about stop losses, and they're certainly of value. And I got a couple remarks in the chat. Okay, Oliver's asking, what is my preferred time frame for your TV trend template? Okay, I'm not showing you a trend template now. So I'm talking more about dip trading now, but to answer your question, 15 minutes is the lowest I usually use on a trend-based approach. I've been using the 45-minute chart a lot, and had a nice trade today with that on GMT. That's through the Crypto Banter, or Sheldon the Sniper, his teachings. I've talked about that group from time to time. I like them a lot. They give a lot of information away for free, a lot of training. I think their approach is more complicated than mine, but it's really valuable for, I'd say, late beginners, early intermediate traders, and they do more of a short swing approach right now. So you might want to check that out. But yeah, the 15-minute to, say, the hour charts are what I look for trend trading. So I may have talked about that lately, especially when Bitcoin was so, we didn't know what was going to happen with it, and I was doing more trend trading then. But now that the 20K seems to be a floor in Bitcoin, I prefer to get back to the dips and the bounces and the retraces. So that's how I like to trade. Let's see, Mana, we were talking about divergence. We could also do alerts on the indicators. Looks like the RSI is a little more sensitive than the MFI is in this situation. Like this one here dropped below 30 and then came back up. So get in right about here. About 1%. On a 15-minute chart, what I like to do is I'll set half of an exit at 1%. And then when that happens, I'll move my stop loss into break even and then try to let the rest ride. So had I done that in this scenario, I would have had like a 0.5% gain because, you know, when it hit the 1% profit, I would have put a stop loss in to protect my profit and have a 0 risk trade. And then, but it drops and, you know, it takes out my whole position. So half my trade breaks even, the other half makes 1%. Again, I'm probably on 10x leverage, so that'll be like a 5% trade to me. And that's a safe way to trade to move that to use a stop loss to protect profit. Okay, so that RSI worked out pretty well. This one did too. Drops below 30 and comes back up. You know, take a dip at first, but then, you know, maybe go to the top of your Bollinger Band here as an exit, or there's some resistance here, and then more resistance up here. A lot of times I choose the middle. So the middle resistance is here at around 5 or 6%. Probably catch that, you know, 12 hours later here. That's a really good day trade. There's nothing wrong with setting alerts on both. If you miss one, catch the other. Like this one, the MFI would have dropped, picked up this trade here. Yeah, drops a little bit, but makes a nice run up here, and you know, you're 5% to the top of the Bollinger Band, you know, 6% until it drops. The MFI triggers, but the RSI, yeah, that would have triggered actually as well, because it drops just below. It's like 29.6 and then comes back up. So either alert would have caught that move. Any questions on Mana? Okay. Well, we're about 25 minutes in. Any questions on Altcoin Alert? I mean, we've gone over 2 scenarios pretty thoroughly. Well, actually, we have a couple new people here, so let me show you one more sort that I like to use. I like this long-term sentiment sort. I want to match this up, either very bullish or bullish, with a bullish. Actually, the long-term sentiment, I should explain, is the Twitter data, what people are talking about, the word on the street. So I like to match that up with technical values, the Elder Impulse Daily, which, as you can see here, it's like the MACD and momentum-based indicators kind of, you know, combined. And so when I see very bullish or bullish on the long-term sentiment and bullish on the Elder Impulse Daily, that's something I want to check out further. Unfortunately, we don't have many of those. So instead of sorting by long-term sentiment, I've been sorting by Elder Impulse Daily, and then more likely it's just easier that way because there's more of these. You know, there's only one match I see, and that's that RSR. So yeah, RSR, we're bullish. We're up almost 9% today, and bullish on these 2 values. Let's check it out. See if that's on my list. It is. All right, let's look at the day chart, get the big picture, and yeah, it was up to 5 cents. Now it's below a penny, so a pretty big drop. Nice movement. Last week plus. Well, it's up 50%. And getting a bubble here. We have a 1 dip. Yeah, that might turn into a dip sequence, but we're really early on it. Got a single dip. One could argue we're not even into a bubble yet. So trying to show a better example of a dip trade. This one's not really good. I'm just not seeing one here. This one's not bad. It's only really a single dip. So, if you need your memory refreshed on the 1, 2, 3 dip strategy, check out that iCoinPro strategy I send in my emails. So we don't really have one yet, but using these indicators on the 15-minute can frequently lead to those setups. While we're here on the 5, I think if I want to do a price alert, I'd set that here around 0.8 cents, maybe a little lower, 0.79 cents. So those are a couple options on that. On the 15-minute chart for indicator alerts, we've had some nice results with divergence alerts. This one's gotten up to almost 3%, not bad. Almost 4% here, and this one is really good. To the top of the Bollinger Band. I probably wouldn't have done that with that. I would have looked for some resistance, and that's right here around 11%. I wouldn't have been that aggressive. I would have been probably looking at this resistance here, about 7%. And I'm out of that in 8 hours, so that's a really good day trade. But how do we catch these? Well, I've shown you the alerts multiple times at this point. You got your divergence alert. You might want to even pair that up with either the MFI or the RSI or all of them. You could go alert crazy and put alerts on all 3 of them. Super confirmation. But I've shown you that multiple times, so I'm not going to do it again unless you have a question about it. So any questions on RSR or Altcoin Alert before we move to iCoinPro? All right, guys are kind of quiet today. So I spoke moments ago of iCoinPro. This is the kind of the home of the 1, 2, 3 dip. This is how I learned how to day trade. I learned this system congruent with another one called Crypto Trade Masters. Jeremy Barnett, he's a friend of Justin Clark, the co-creator of iCoinPro, and sort of streamlined it. But regardless, the principles are the same. We're looking for 1 or 2. It's the micro profit strategy. We're looking for 1 to 2% and just piling up those small wins and being super conservative. So that's the general approach of iCoinPro. If you haven't seen the 1, 2, 3 dip training, it's free. You can get a free account and check it out. It's worth your time. And there are 2. It will also help you find trades. So there's a couple tools I like. I like the RSI Spy. We talk about that now, and the Buddy Coin Crawler. But the RSI Spy will help you find some of the setups that we were just looking at. I can sort by the 1 hour RSI, and anything 30 or below is usually oversold and due for a comeback. Now I had a couple an hour ago when I was looking at these. SNX actually was one I was looking at. It's since come up a little bit, since we gone past the last hour I was looking at. But since we got the chart up, we'll go ahead and check it out. So this is the SNX chart on the day. Yeah, it was well over $15, and now it's about $2.50. So seeing a lot of charts that look like this. On the hour, had a pretty nice move recently. Yeah, some of these synthetic stock type cryptos had a pump about a week ago. Yeah, moved up over 100%. It's given some of that back now. So there could be some dip trades, could be some short opportunities if you trade leverage. 5 minute, that's really squeezy. Yeah, it's not even 3%. So, and we're pretty much at short-term support, really close to it. About 240 might be a place to set an alert, but we're 246 already. So not sure how reliable that's going to be. On our alert, on our indicators, yeah, they haven't really done well in a divergence. This one did okay. 3.6% in 8 hours, but these three have all whiffed. Been pretty much invalidated. So that's a concern. I don't think I'd go with a divergence indicator if I'm looking for a long on SNX. And the other indicators, RSI looks to be a little more sensitive. Could have caught this move here. About 2.4%. It drops, comes back up to about 1%. It's not bad, but not great either. And then these, and this is the other move we've had recently off the RSI and the MFI indicator alerts. And you'd still be in this trade probably, up 0.5%. So it's not a great setup in really any of these indicators. Probably go with the RSI on this one, but to be candid, I'm not loving the setup at all. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this coin after the big move. It's mostly just trending down. Okay, any questions on SNX? We'll look at one more from iCoinPro, and then I'll throw this open to whatever you guys want to talk about. So I had YFII here. Oh, and this also has fear and greed index. So we're 12. Hey, we're back in double digits. We're up to extreme fear. I think we were at terrifying fear or something a few days ago. All right, so we don't really have any more candidates for the RSI SPY. Another way to use this, if you trade leverage, you want to short something, you just do the opposite sort and look for values 70 and higher of coins that have been overbought and that are due to come back down. And these are, but you have to know that your coin pair is something you can trade with leverage on whatever platform you're on. I'm not seeing any at the moment. Yeah, these are all audio you can trade, chilies you can trade on trade leverage. I don't know about Strax. So it's probably not a good example. Yeah, I think we'll bail on that. Anyway, the other information source within iCoinPro that I like is the Buddy Coin Crawler, and this will show coins at least that look like they have room to move. I used to store by the average low to the SMA. That's the 24-hour low of the coin to the SMA line, which is that pink line between the Bollinger Bands. They, about a month ago or maybe 2 months ago, they added this current low to the SMA. And here I'm looking for like 3 to 4%. That'll show me a coin's got some room to move. This one here, YFII, I was looking at earlier because it had 10% for the day. It's only 2%, actually less than 2% for the current, so that's not so good. Go ahead and look at Voyager. This one's kind of been in the news lately. VGX. Okay, day chart. Yeah, this was listed on Binance in November, went pretty much straight down. Yeah, over 90%. Not looking good on the hour either. Just heading straight down. 5 minute. Well, this looks like a dip sequence. Got the squeeze and it's bubbling out. 1, 2. Not sure if we count this first dip because it's kind of still in the squeeze area. So 1, 2, maybe wait for one more dip, probably around here, around 29, 30 cents. Try to catch that up to, that would be a nice move. If you caught this 29 cents on a dip sequence and it came back, you have 5% gain, theoretically. The SMA line, that kind of reddish pink line in the middle, actually it's red on this chart, would be trending down. So if you use that as a guide, you probably get out around 5 to 6% profits. That's pretty good. But it could just keep dropping. Sometimes they do that. And if you don't want to sit around and wait, you've got the indicator alerts that we talked about earlier. See how our divergence alerts did recently. Yeah, these look as bad as the SNX ones we just looked at. Yeah, these are all terrible. I don't think a single one of these has been profitable. Maybe this one. Well, a few of these weren't bad. That's 3%, it's 1.7. So yeah, that one had a big spike up and then came down over 5%. So about half of them did okay. But that's rather say a higher percentage than that. And then we've got our MFI and RSI alerts as well. Looking about the same as divergence as far as their potential success. So VGX and SNX look a little scary to get in with. I like to see dips that drop and then shoot back up, a couple times, and in the time frame I'm looking at on the 15-minute chart, which is usually 2 or 3 days. We don't really have that with the last two we looked at. Okay. Let's see what else. Maybe one more on this, then we'll call it a day. Just don't really have stacks. Let's look at that one. And on iCoinPro, you've got this drop-down menu here. You'll go to your most recent chart, and then it'll be on that whatever time frame you were on, but it'll be on the coin that you're looking at. So that's handy. Okay, on the day chart, stacks was well above $3, and big drop, about 90%. And a really nice move over the last week to 10 days, up 70%, giving up about half of that. Mostly just trending down. We're starting to see a dip sequence here as well. Let's see if we have one forming on Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's dropping a little bit. That might be triggering some of these dip sequences that we're seeing. Okay. We're already at short-term support. So I would look for, got one dip so far. I'd look for 2 more dips. You can go to your 15-minute chart. Both of these are dipping below the 20 and the 30 respectively. Wait for those to come up, and that's a sign that you're potentially good to go. I'm getting into a dip sequence. Divergence, alerts have been pretty good. Yeah, that's 7%, 12 hours. I like that. This one on the MFI. Does drop 4% before coming up to 9%. And this one, that's the ideal entry when this one triggers. So you can set alerts on your divergences and then use some of these indicator alerts as confirmation. I've done that before. You can even do it the other way around. Set your primary alert on the MFI or RSI and then look at divergence when it goes off. So, well, that's all I have for iCoinPro. Any questions about what we've looked at on iCoinPro or Altcoin Alert or any of these trade setups of the market overall? Okay. Okay, don't see anything in the chat. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. For those of you who join me live, I appreciate that. Those of you on the recording, I appreciate you as well. Hope to see you on Friday. Please check out the opportunities listed in the comments below, and we will see you later in the week on Friday. If you're here for the carbon, I will take a short break and get back to you shortly. Thanks.